Put him down. Put him down. I'm not looking up.
3, 2,
All right, everybody. Welcome back to the Agony of Positivity podcast, Saturday morning edition, I think. I am Ross, and with me, as pretty much always,
I am Saul.
was that like the Batman version?
Yes.
Rachel. Yeah. I like that your go-to Batman is just the Rachel part, like of all the other things.
It's so corny that the first Batman movie did that. It just sticks with me. I can.
Yeah, to where it was like that was one of the most unnecessarily done.
Well, so she's like dying, and he still feels compelled to use the Batman voice, even though she's like dying, like a bolt. Rachel! You know what I'm saying?
I never thought about it in that regard. But yeah, it's like, nah, I'm in Batman. I don't break Batman kayfabe.
Exactly. Well, just like, he does it all through this series, which I don't know if they did it on purpose or not, but it's funny because when he's talking to Alfred and Lucius,
yeah,
they know that he's Batman. He continues to be He continues to do the Bat voice. It's just funny.
Well, I could see with Lucius because Lucius's position, but yeah, Alfred, like unless he's like talking over the phone to him, but yeah, like if he's like face to face.
Mr. Wayne, I know you're Batman. You don't need to keep using. Yes, I do, Alfred.
Like this is totally unnecessary. The cicadas and the dogs. One moment here. We have cicadas have found their way between the windows and the screens at my house.
Yeah.
And because cicadas are kamikaze, apparently, they just bash themselves into the window over and over and cannot figure their way out. But I do not want to try to get them rescued because I don't want them in the house flying into everything and just making a general mess.
So we have an exhaust fan at work, and I turn on in the mornings.
Yeah.
You just hear ding, 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 ding all day.
Yep. Yeah, they are in some areas, like, because you'll like go over like on the highway and you can just see them and you're like, oh, I'm about to have to clean my car. And then other areas, like, there's nothing.
Like in my area right now, there's hardly anything. I mean, I don't have any issues over here.
The other day we got some rain, and then like after that, now we've started having them like in my backyard. And you'll just hear like the wave of the cicada noises.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, I guess it's better than road noise or, other things that there could be. But I'll be...
Well, the good news is they're starting to die. So
yeah, they are dying pretty quickly. But yeah, it's just weird. It's like some weird battleground on my back porch. Because there's just like wings and stuff just everywhere. Like, it looks like a deranged child, like Sid from Toy Story lives here. But it's really just where they fly into the house and explode or something, I guess. I don't know.
So if people hear a squeaking sound, because I listened back to a podcast last week, and I kept hearing a squeaking sound, and I'm like, what is that? That's me rocking in my chair. So I'm trying not to rock, but it's a rocker, so it's hard not to rock.
Yeah. Yeah, I had to lock my desk chair, and then I removed all pins finally from around me because I can't not pick up a pin and go clicky click.
Yes.
The only thing worse is if we were doing the podcast while grilling and I had tongs in my hand.
Yes.
Because you have to test those every so often.
You do.
Every 5 minutes at least.
Makes the hamburger and the hot dogs taste bad.
Yes. Definitely not the burning them to a crisp part. So any excitement for your week?
The Adventures of Bo happened again.
Yeah. quick recap. So Bo, assumed name, is a coworker at the carpet place that is apparently super dehydrated constantly. He went through like 18 out of a 36 pack of water in one day.
Oh yeah,
Probably drank some of it, but was mostly pretending to be Triple H or a sprinkler or something.
Awkward Lad is just like I said, he's incredibly. I don't know if he works at a sweatshop after he leaves to work and he can't get water. I don't know.
Right, but, or if he's got some kind of self-harm where he's trying to throw his sodium level off so much that he dies.
But in any case, so we had, we had to mow the grass because my boss is cheap. So he gives us a push. So we had a riding lawnmower, but that crapped out for some reason.
The riding lawnmower felt sketchy to me. I only used it like twice, but
but it's better than pushing it. But now we're down. But now we're down to pushing it, and my boss has one of those Echo, whatever it's called, battery power one.
Right, which I didn't know existed. So it's just like the Ryobi. There's
Ryobi,
like a battery unit to it.
Yes.
Like no plug-in. Like you don't, because I've seen the people like who have like the plug that they have to manage while.
No, this is battery powered.
Okay.
And Bo, go out there and mow the grass.
Which to be at this moment, because that's way more grass than you should have a push mower for. In this case, if he were to load up on a couple bottles of water right beforehand, it would be totally acceptable in my mind.
Sure. So anyway, he's like, go out there and mow the grass, Bo. Bo's like, well, I'm scared of cicadas. And my boss is like, well, he's like, they're not going to hurt you. He's like, just cowboy it up and just get it done with, whatever. And so he goes out there and starts the thing up. And it doesn't make a lot of noise anyway because it's battery power. But it does make noise. And cicadas just swarm him. And I hear him like running through the yard. And we have a loading dock at the shop where we don't use it, but
like a semi trailer would be able to get level.
Yeah. The previous people that worked there used it all the time. Well, anyways, so we have a big loading dock that has a drop off to it, and then you hear Bo like running through the yard and
with the push mower, like pushing the mower in front of him.
Yeah, he's fighting the cicadas with the push mower basically, and he throws the push mower down the loading dock, and he runs into the shop area just like he's being attacked by hornets or something. Which I understand the cold creep factor. I get that. I understand that's kind of creepy, especially if they're like crawling all over you and everything. But he's acting like they're killing. And I'm like, probably just broke that lawnmower. He's like, I can't help it. This kid's getting me.
So at any point was it asked to be like, did you think about just letting go of the lawnmower and running away from it? As opposed to trying to murder the lawnmower?
Well, I'm like, they're attracted to the sound of it. So I was like, if you got away from it, they would just loaned.
I mean, maybe he knew that they were attracted to it, and the only way to get out of it was to try to murder the lawnmower.
I don't know. But yeah, the Adventures at Bo. Man.
So,
I'll tell you
what I'm wondering is, did the lawnmower continue working, and did the grass get mowed?
Yeah. Eventually, so my boss had to do it because Bo won't do it. Bo's like, I refuse to mow it. I just can't do it. And I was like, I was like, the money he's paying you, because basically that's why my boss paid him.
Yeah.
Do the yard work around there, and then occasionally help me. I was like,
and drink water.
Just hire it and drink water. Yes. I was like, he could just hire a landscaping crew when he's paying you. And my boss was like, that's true.
Well, because the cicadas, like, I mean, they aren't going to hurt you. But yeah, like you said, it's creepy. But how old is Bo?
He's 15.
Yeah. I mean, you should pull out one of the the white suits from the front, get him the forced air respirator. You're like, here you go.
Yes.
You'll be safe.
Yes. I don't know, man. It's just funny. He's something else.
If you could go back, what would be hilarious is if you told him if he made a really high pitched ee noise, it would keep the cicadas away, so that you would just hear him constantly. You should try that if he has to mow the grass again. Just give him some weird noise that cicadas don't like. Oh yeah, they don't like really high pitched human noises.
Sure. He's I don't know, man. He's something else.
Well, I can't match that for anything. Nothing in my week has been on that level. I mowed my grass without incident. And
I watched I went to a volleyball game last night.
Yeah.
Just because I wanted to get out of the house because I was trapped in the house all day.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it was muggy last night.
Yeah. Now, when you say you went to a volleyball, was it a church volleyball or just...
No, a bar.
Okay.
Drunks.
Even better.
So I'm watching there, and dude, it is just a bunch of drunks getting loaded, trying to play volleyball.
Now, is this sand or...
That's sand volleyball.
So even better.
And I'm watching them. I'm like, I think it'd just be easier just to say that you just want to drink beer and just sit on a patio somewhere.
I mean, sometimes it's fun to do stuff. We used to... So when I played in a band, so this would have been when I was about 21-ish. I mean, definitely 21 because I drank alcohol, and you have to be 21 to legally do that.
Yes.
So I was 100% 21 the entirety of this time.
Yes.
The location we had our practice room, there was a parking lot and then a brick building right across from it. And somehow we had tennis rackets and tennis balls. And we started, you've seen racquetball or handball. Well, the way the parking lines were perfect. So we basically... most of the time we would play sober because we were all super competitive about it. So anyone who looked out, there was this thespians acting group that was in the building above us, kind of above us, but off to the side, if that makes any hard to say. They could look down in the parking lot and they just absolutely hated it that we were having fun, I'm pretty sure. But I can only imagine from their perspective, they would look out and they would see these hooligan punk rock kids playing racquetball against a wall and just diving all over asphalt, as if it was grass or sand. It was nothing to be just a bloody mess after a round. And we treated it almost like wrestling in a sense, there was a champion. But when there were nights where alcohol was involved, it would get a little more crazy. Where we would actually park our cars in the park, because usually when we're doing that, there's no cars in the parking lot. We're not, we weren't looking to damage anybody else's stuff. Our own cars, sometimes those would be parked in an area where they'd become an obstacle. There was one night where we started dousing the tennis balls and lighting them on fire. Which was amazing. I can't count the amount of people so there were 2 telephone poles. People would run into those, but it was all good fun. I still can't figure out why my body feels like it does some days.
Sure.
But the worst part was the out of bounds line. There was I think it was a 2 or 3 foot drop from the parking lot down to where you, I guess the backyard to the practice space was. That was out of bounds. But if the ball hit and then bounced, you still had to get it. So there were a few times where people dove, multiple feet down and just ate it, trying to hit it back to the wall.
Yes.
So, volleyball in sand, way safer if you're just looking for something to do.
Sure. It just so I'm sitting there and I don't smoke, and there's a lot of people smoking cigarettes.
Right.
A lot of
This is
people that
basically
vape.
the exact opposite of the place that you would ever be.
Yeah, because my wife volunteered to basically be a sub, basically,
Yeah.
and so I'm just sitting there because I want to get out of the house.
Yeah.
But the air is so stagnant last night. The smoke is staying put. The vaping smells are staying put. The alcohol smell. I was like, this is just miserable. I'm like, I can't breathe anyway because how the air is anyway. I was like, the smoke and the vaping stuff is not helping it.
I have not been. So I used to go like Cincinnati has Bogarts where you'd have like concerts and all that, and it used to always be like heavy with the smoke. I never thought about it until you just mentioned it. Like with all the vaping now, where it's like, oh man, not only is it smoke, now there's like strawberry, kiwi, key lime pie, cotton candy flavors in the air all around me.
Yeah, I don't understand how people smoke when it's hot out. I don't. I mean, I can kind of understand it if it's cold.
Yeah.
But when it's like 90 degrees out and smoking a cigarette, I just can't understand how people do it.
I will say from my experience, so I'll smoke cigars occasionally.
Yeah.
I really don't care to. I don't smoke them in the house typically. Like cigars might be enjoyable, but secondhand cigar smoke or how it makes your house smell. At most, we'll sit in like our mudroom with the door kind of open if we're gonna have one, and like because my wife she'll smoke one occasionally too. But sitting out on the back porch when it's 90 and 80% humidity, no interest.
Sure.
It's just not. Now, if I had like the craziest air conditioner in the world where my house was 60, maybe. But I agree. Sure. But I also don't have to smoke.
Yeah.
I assume if like you go through withdrawal if you don't have a cigarette, it doesn't matter what you could be in a volcano and be like, man, I really need one of these.
My grandpa used to smoke a pipe, and I like that smell.
Yes.
But something else. The cigarettes, I mean, they're all right because it kind of because my all my in-laws and not my in-laws, but my grandparents and everything smoked, so it kind of reminds me of like family gatherings and everything. But I always liked it when he smoked the pipe.
Yeah, I tried for a while to smoke a pipe, just because for something to do, kind of, and like you said, it has like pipe tobacco has a much more pleasant aroma. There is an art to packing and lighting a tobacco pipe correctly, and I am incapable of learning it. Or the pipe that I bought is a cheap pipe and doesn't have like the airflow is not correct on it. Like it could be any combination of things. Like if you pull up like how to smoke a tobacco pipe on YouTube, there's more information than you would ever possibly think there should be.
Yeah, I mean, if you are a smoker and you're not smoking a pipe, I'm sorry. Why are you not being like Gandalf? Because I so would be like Gandalf.
Right, but there's also like if you see somebody smoking a pipe at the same time, it looks rather pretentious and hipster. So
yeah, sure.
There was a guy I delivered pizza with. He was a pipe smoker 100%. Like he'd like go out with his deliveries, light his pipe, and he would just smoke it the whole time. It was like
really.
Yeah, it was super weird because I'd never seen anyone like because my grandpa used to smoke a pipe, but he did it like at home. He didn't take the pipe with him anywhere. Sometimes like if he went and worked on somebody else's bees for him, like he'd be out there like with the beehives, and he might take his pipe with him because he knew he was going to be there for a while. But yeah, he wasn't like, oh, gonna run to the store, I'll take my pipe with me.
Sure.
Because it's a lot of work. All right.
So, what do you want to talk about today?
Let us do some video game conversation, since we have not really touched any of that stuff for quite a while.
Yep.
Let's find. Here we go.
Get over here! Time's up. Let's do this.
All right. So have you been on the Burning Crusade bandwagon or the Final Fantasy XIV bandwagon?
Final Fantasy? No, I'm not. No, I would never play Final Fantasy because that's a terrible game.
I don't know. People are really big on Final Fantasy XIV right now.
Okay.
Like the MMO version?
I've never understood why people like Final Fantasy, but hey, whatever. So, yeah, I've been playing Burning Crusade.
Okay. The,
Well, in Hearthstone, I got to level 110.
I saw you posted that. You're at 110 right now?
Yep.
I think I am like 98.
Okay.
So I'm surprised that you're further along than me.
I chose Anduin as my hero skin.
Is that the one where he is in the prophecy gear or whatever it is?
Yeah, the plate gear, yeah.
Okay. I don't know who I'll pick. I took Anduin last time.
Yeah.
And then there was another one where I think I took the Hunter. Like that you get like midway through or whatever, you get a hero portrait.
Yeah.
I think I took believe I took the Hunter, but I'm not sure. I like that is the payoff though for doing it.
Yeah.
Now, did you spend any gold on the mini set?
So I bought because I told you I wanted to buy that Rexar fiery one.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I spent some like $20 on something.
Yeah, like the reward path thing where you get like the the exclusive stuff.
So I spent money on something like that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, because they have like the mini set that came out where they introduced like the set of cards or whatever, like they did the last one, where you can buy them for 2,000 gold. But like honestly, with the classic Hearthstone version, I have not played any standard.
Yeah, I don't play standard either. The only thing I play is classic.
So I play that and Battlegrounds and whatever Tavern Brawl they have to get my free pack and try to complete some quests. But I last set I spent the 2,000 gold, but this one I didn't do it. And I honestly think I'm past spending money on Hearthstone at this point. Like, because I know that's like come up a couple times that we've talked about it, and I've been like, yeah, I think they made it to where I just don't want to spend money anymore. And I think that's 100% where I'm at.
I just think they're too greedy now. I mean, and I enjoy classic.
Yeah.
All the cards are set. Oh. Yep.
Now, what if they do? So let's say the next expansion comes up. I mean, maybe they've already talked about this. I don't follow Hearthstone news too closely. If they're like, okay, instead of classic, we're going to make a new set for this expansion, and they just random assortment of cards. It's not even like, oh, we just have this set and this. It's just a random 130 cards from all the different sets, but that's it. Like, but you have access to all of them, like it is with the classic. Would you probably just keep playing that, or do you just like the original card sets?
I'm still playing classic.
Okay. Because eventually, it is interesting though to see at the time what was some of the top decks. Some of them are still the same, and others, just the way people play, some of the stuff doesn't work nearly as well as it used to.
Yeah.
Because I remember like the Token Druid with Savage Roar and all that. Like that used to be super strong, and I have a hard time playing it. Like I cannot. Like I don't know if it's people play around it or all the other or if people have just acknowledged that these decks are better, so it always counters it. But yeah, I can't do anything with Druid, and I remember I used to. Like, that was one of the decks I would use to climb all the time.
Yeah, the only deck that I really enjoy playing... I mean, I can win with the Shakaden deck
Yeah.
and the Zoo Warlock, but I don't find those fun.
Yeah. Because
The
you're just
only
throwing
one that
minions.
Yeah, the only one I really enjoy is the Shadow Thief Priest
Yeah.
set. I really enjoy playing that one because it's fun. I think because it's challenging.
Yeah.
You have to try to, like you said, you're just throwing minions.
Yeah, I've played a lot of Miracle Rogue.
Yeah,
Just because if you got to basically be willing to go to, two health, and then you can pull your combo off. But you gotta know what the other deck is doing and when to save like your sap and that kind of stuff. And then Leroy at original cost is just stupid.
Yes.
Yes. It's one of those. No wonder they changed that card.
Yeah, Leroy has killed me a bunch of times.
I mean, you pretty much just assume, especially against a rogue, you're not safe. Well, same with Druid, you're not safe at 18 health. And then any deck, if you're at 6 health, you just have to assume you're going to get Leroyed.
Yep.
Because there's about zero. Like, it's such a cheap card. Like, it combos with everything.
Yep.
So, let's see. So, how have you liked the Burning Crusade so far?
So this week, I've really played a lot. I was like, you know what? I'm going to try a Paladin because I'm stuck playing Horde for some reason. Because my buddy wanted to play Horde, so there, whatever.
Right.
So I chose Blood Elf, and I've been in the Blood Elf area, and I've enjoyed it because one thing, it's something new. I've never actually played the Blood Elf area. Everything's kind of new to me.
Right. Well, I've only done. Is the Blood Elf area different after Cataclysm?
What do you mean?
Like, is there? So you do like the area with the mana worms and stuff.
Yes.
I'm assuming that part's the same where you're in the city. Like, once you get outside the city, is there still like the big area that's the Scar and all that stuff?
Yeah. So the scars. So yeah, the mana worm area. I've done that before. I'm like, oh yeah, this seems familiar. But when I got outside one wall to go to where the old Silver Moon was, or whatever their city is, I've never done that before.
Okay.
So it was like completely new to me because I'm like fighting pirates, warlocks. I'm like, okay, yeah, I've just never done it before. So it's weird because you're fighting pirates, you're fighting skeletons, and you're fighting murlocs. It's a weird combination that they put over there, but
they're all terrible.
But as a paladin, I can take on like 4 people. I mean, at lower level in like Burning Crusade. Right. So I was like, wow, this is pretty weird.
Well, because Paladin in traditional Classic is just dreadful to level, it felt like to me. Like, I started one, and I was just like, ugh, this is terrible.
Yeah. I did
and
too.
honestly, in retail, it's terrible if you don't use like the heirloom gear. I guess I'll just stand here and hit you with my club.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know if the Paladin changes in Burning Crusade, but I've enjoyed it. I'm playing it.
I grew to like weapon classes a lot more, like warrior, or like the Paladin is not very exciting to level, but just you're using your weapon. Whereas like the casters, it's like, oh, I got this weapon, but really I'm just casting the same spell. Except for the occasional where they like run up on you and you whack them with the your stick.
Yeah.
So
I did have an interesting thing last night. This guy teamed up with me because it's one of those kill the guy quests,
Yeah.
And I think it was a mage, maybe, I don't know. But he teamed up with me because we're doing the same quest. I was like, whatever, I don't care. So we work our way up, all the way up to the top of this platform, and I guess he didn't see that I tagged the guy first. He ungroups me. He's like, all right, see you later, bitch. But when he ungrouped me, I've already had it tagged. So I'm like, you're not going to get credit for this.
Which is even better. Did he actually still like help you kill it without realizing what he was doing?
so he shot it a couple times, and then he realized it was gray to him, I guess. And then he started running away from it, and I typed back like, ah ha ha ha.
What an unnecessary attempt to troll.
Yeah, it was not necessary. I mean, I don't know why, other than this being a jerk, he did it. So.
Well, true. Like, that could be it. It's funny that he messed it up. But, like, what a weird thing to, like, I just don't understand.
Yeah. So I stayed up there after he jumped down and he ran back up, and I tagged the guy again.
And then ran away yourself?
Then ran away.
What's super weird about that is, so he was by himself. It was just him?
Yes, it was just him.
It'd be one thing if they were in, like, a group of people.
Yeah.
And they were just, like, amusing each other. But that'd be like me playing by myself, being like, I'm going to get this guy for no reason.
Yeah, it was weird. I was like, you're the one that grouped up with me, buddy.
Yeah, well, and then I don't know what makes people do things, but yeah, I'm still waiting for the WoW token price to come down, because it keeps going up. It's the opposite of Bitcoin currently. WoW token is the real investment.
Anyway, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say. So it seems like everybody who plays Warcraft is starting to play Final Fantasy online. Okay. But you have no interest in that?
No, I never have.
I like that when Final Fantasy comes up, you're like, nope.
Oh, we have a friend, a mutual friend in common that loves that game, and he tried to get us to play it. I'm like, I'm not playing that. I hate Final Fantasy. I have never liked it. I'm not going to play it.
Because, like, obviously, like, because Final Fantasy 14, like, the online one, is very similar to Warcraft in play. Whereas, like, now old Final Fantasy, like, the single-player games, like, if you're going back to Super Nintendo, or even the NES, where it was, like, top-down, run around and run into stuff, and then you have, like, the turn-based battle.
Sure.
What is it that you don't like about Final Fantasy?
I've just never liked it.
Okay. Because for me, so for me, like, I've tried it, and I actually, because I had like a weird amount of money left on my Steam account where I did a refund. Yeah. So I'm currently going to download it and give it another go, because I should like Final Fantasy 14, because with one character you can be like all the classes. So you can have one character that does basically everything, which is one of the things that I kind of liked about Rift, was the variety that you had. Like Mage had your caster, your healer. It had a, what's it called? Like a melee spec.
Yeah.
That was pretty fun to play and felt like you were, like an actual melee character. So I always liked that. And it's like, well, I should like this. And I tried it. Apparently, I've got 15 hours in from playing it previously, and something about it wasn't clicking for me. And I think that it's a little bit slower paced. I think the global cooldown instead of 1.5 seconds is like 2 seconds between spells. But overall, it's simpler. But I'm going to try it one more time, because there's never going to be a game that has the cost of what I had. So I was like, well, I guess this. So I'll give it a try and report back at some point, maybe. But yeah, it's just weird that everybody is, like, pretty much everyone who plays like retail WoW is trying out Final Fantasy 14. Have you been on retail lately?
Yeah, there's like no one there.
Do you think, because apparently they still haven't done patch 9.1. And there's no set date for it, right?
Not from everything I've read,
Someone stream, it might have been the Asmongold stream, or I was watching something on YouTube, maybe Bellular, one of those guys. They were looking at how long periods have lapsed before like a patch came out.
Yeah.
And it seems like this one is getting close to the longest, or it's like up
Sure.
there. Where they did like they did like a 0.5 patch and added some stuff, but like it's going pretty long, right? Like I'm not insane.
Yeah, I'm thinking Shadowlands is going to be like Warlords.
So we're getting a selfie stick to go with the selfie camera.
I just think they're waiting too long. They don't have content, and I think they're going to say, "Oh crap! Now we need to release another expansion."
So the rest of Shadowlands is there's gonna be one more patch with like one raid, and then it's gonna go on for a year and a half.
Yeah, it's going to be rushed. Yeah, I have that feeling.
Well, because there's COVID definitely messed stuff up where everyone's working from home all of a sudden. But as a paying customer, do you really care what the reason is? Like, that doesn't make you, oh man, they had a really bit of rough luck. Well, I'm going to enjoy this content that I've been doing for 6 months for a little bit longer because of that. Like, that's not going to...
Especially World of Warcraft people, they're not going to have that attitude.
Right. And it's just, like, that's a long time for a patch. It seems like everybody's finally fed up with all the different systems and currencies and stuff you have to learn constantly.
Yeah, I don't understand why they got away from the classic model. There's some things that they needed to improve, and Burning Crusade, they improved it. I think Wrath of Lich King, they really improved it a lot.
Yeah.
And then there's like, man, you know what? We're going to change it more.
We're going to just keep stacking on top of it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because there's like all the stuff you got to gather for your legendary stuff.
Yeah.
It just feels like there's tons of busy work, which it's a video game. It's basically all busy work, but it's just when I look, it's like, so I got to keep up with this. I got gold that I need occasionally. I need anima. I need because they brought back like the valor. There's your soul ash. I'm sure there's other stuff that I'm not thinking of.
There's too much crap to I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, because like I'm thinking that classic probably didn't help that though, because you're like, oh, classic didn't have 5 million specific currencies revolving around gear.
Yes.
Burning Crusade's not like that either, is it?
Not from what I've seen, no.
Like, now, do they have like the dungeon marks or whatever in Burning Crusade?
I don't think that started in Burning Crusade. That started in Wrath, I think.
Okay. So it's more just get the gear, and then your gear's your gear, and go from there. They've done something. I don't know if it's cumulative, where just people have been like upset the last couple expansions, but they just keep playing because that's what they do. But now they're finally like, oh my goodness, this really is going to be how it is all the time. It's never going to get better.
Sure.
And they're just looking for something else to fill the time.
Yep.
Because...
because that New World's coming out here pretty soon, isn't it?
I think so.
But then I hear a lot of people are complaining about that because I guess they added the cash shop in it.
It seems like what they... Now, I'm going from like watching videos on it, but it sounds like... So the game... This was one of the arguments I heard that made sense to me, is... So the game's not even out, and they're working on a cash shop to give quality of life improvements. So that means that before the game has even officially launched, they've basically identified things that are slogs or problems. So instead of fixing those, they're going to allow them to exist and sell you a solution.
Yes.
So, which basically says that means they're at some point they're going to create problems purposely, if they haven't already done it, and then sell you the solution. That's like
Coke selling you a bottle of Coke, and then like, hey, here's a bottle opener if you want to buy it.
Yeah, like it has some weird bottle opener with a proprietary bottle opener.
Yep.
Like that you need this to get it off. Be like,
Yes.
Be like, oh, we heard everybody's complained about this, so we're gonna sell a bottle opener. And be like, why don't you just make it?
It's a one-time use.
Yeah, like be like, why don't you make it not suck to begin with?
Nope, not doing that.
Did you? I don't know when we would ever be able to talk about this. Where I guess someone got a bunch of EA's source code and was trying to ransom them with it. One of the things I saw, the person was like, whoever's ransoming it should figure out a way to put all the source code in loot boxes with no pity timer and make them buy loot boxes to get all the stuff. Obviously that doesn't work, but the idea I found hilarious.
That'd be pretty funny.
There were a lot of people who were like, well, that's like basically saying that's one, pointing out that's not how it works, and all kinds of like other things, and like oh yeah, EA bad. And it's like, yeah, I get that, but it's a hilarious idea. Like the concept of it is funny. Like whether it works or whether you agree with it, I'd like to think that people could be like, oh, that's a funny idea. I think that was mainly the FIFA crowd, where they just get obliterated every year. Because some people are like, oh yeah, and like some of the code is like epic that has like a .02 drop rate, and then they just keep getting the same line of code over and over. But they can convert it if they get enough of the same line. Like it is basically just all the scummy loot box stuff.
And that's what they did that Star Wars game. Like they're like, well, we can't sell skins. It's like Star Wars is the one game that you can sell skins for. Well, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, why wouldn't you? Like, because if they sell it, it's guaranteed money. Because someone like me would be like, oh, I want this particular skin. Oh, I can just buy that. Well, I'm never buying a loot box. So, you know.
Speaking of Star Wars, did you want to go to movies really quick?
Yeah. Let me find a thing for it.
Maybe I could move the Earth out of the way.
If we had a week, I couldn't list all the reasons that way.
King Shark is a shark.
Not the beast!
Let's rock.
All right. So Star Wars?
Yeah, so did you now this is old news, so this might be you might have already heard it, but it's the first time I'm hearing about it. So I guess they're looking at Brie Larson to be in the new Star Wars trilogy that's going to be completely different. It's going to be like another reboot, sort of, I guess.
Wait.
But Brie Larson's character is going to be the most powerful Jedi ever, more powerful than Darth Vader.
Okay. When is this trilogy set?
Said it was from what I was reading last night. It's supposed to be like 2000.
Is what?
2024.
No. Sorry. It's Star Wars universe.
Oh, yeah.
Like, is it before or after?
And I think it's going to be like a.
You're muted.
Sorry, I think it's going to be like another timeline or something.
Because I'm okay with different power levels or whatever. I'm looking for. There was a meme the other day about it, where it basically showed the previous Sith Lords, where one of them was like so powerful he could not die. Basically, like he held himself together with the Force, and he just, unless he wanted to die, he wouldn't. And then there was the guy from, I think, the Old Republic games that basically became like a Force ghost that could, was super powerful. And then it got to Palpatine, and it's like, Senator. Like, that was his big powerfulness. So if you're going back, I mean, I could see there being way more powerful people because the Sith were way better in the olden days, apparently.
I don't know, man. I think, like we've said it before, Jedis are like Reese's peanut butter cups. Yeah, they're good in small doses. If you just eat like 100 of them all in one sitting, you're going to get real sick. I think, yeah, I don't know.
All right, I'm going to read this thing here real quick. Star Wars is getting a timeline reboot in an upcoming Disney Plus series. The TV show will introduce new characters, blah, blah, blah. The new Jedi, more power with the Force than Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader combined. Now, I'd like to see a character that's that much stronger and actually does cool stuff with the Force. After the series has been shrouded in mystery. Reboot of the cinematic timeline. Sure.
So here's what we do. Let's just erase the other trilogy, that terrible trilogy with Rey. Just pretend like that didn't happen.
Right.
Although we won't, because that's Kathleen Kennedy's baby, and she ain't going to admit that she did something wrong.
Right. Well, they could keep The Force Awakens, but then Luke Luke was seeing the future.
Yeah.
That could
true.
come.
That whole trilogy, though, I mean, they wrote that thing so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, again, hey, look at all these cool things we set up. Let's not follow up on any of that.
Yes.
Because a lot of times I like to order food for pickup.
Yeah.
And then not go get it.
Yes. It's like, let's create a backstory about the stormtroopers actually having some kind of, moral center. No, we're gonna follow up on that.
Or even if it's like there could be a defect that causes that, like that'd be a whole thing to explore with the stormtroopers.
Well, they didn't do that with the guy. I felt sorry for that character because they're like, yeah, we really don't know what we're going to do with you, so you're just going to be here.
I don't know. We talked about that a lot with Star Wars, where it's just like, why?
Well, it's like that with anything, though. All the movies, they're bad. They have like terrible writers or something. I don't know.
I mean, I wonder sometimes. Star Wars specifically is so the real 3 came out in a totally different era, where like special effects were cutting edge. Nothing. Well, I think there was other stuff like that, but nothing ever got the attention, and it was just like a total crazy thing of the time. And then I guess they thought they could just easily recreate that with the first, or the 1 through 3 trilogy.
No.
And they just failed on multiple levels. And then the new one,
it's even worse than the other ones.
I'll say Force Awakens made me feel like I had watched a Star Wars movie that I didn't hate. And then having finally seen the others, is just like, well, that went downhill quick.
Yes. Because you're like, oh, cool. You're going to see like Luke Skywalker's prodigy go evil, and then Luke's going to have to battle him. No.
I heard someone talking about it, and they were saying that when they were making the movies, because they kind of like hopped around with people, that it was like, well, this is the story that's been set up. Now you have to continue it. And it's like, well, crap. Because, like if you were to give me a story that you started, I think we would be pretty similar. But someone like, I don't know, just pick somebody that you don't see, you don't have a lot in common with. If they're writing a story about something that you actually care about, and they don't, and then they hand it to you, and for some reason you have to finish it, but you have to try to make it make sense. Yeah, you'd be looking at it and be like, well, I don't think Vegeta would ever shave off all his head or all his hair and then stop fighting. But that's the story I've been given. How do I figure out a way to make Vegeta passive? And then you have to come up with some crazy story to make it happen, and then that story gets passed on to somebody else.
Did you bring up Dragon Ball Z? I've not checked this out. I mean, we can check it out right now. Someone told me that they're gonna make another Dragon Ball Z movie, and Zack Snyder is directing it.
Please,
and
no.
I was like, oh god,
Hold on.
That's what we want.
Little Zack. Hold on. I'm pulling it. Zack
Emo
Snyder's
Goku.
Dragon Ball Z live action. There's no way that's real. 3 days ago. Okay. The most reputable site ever of Hype Beast. I've never seen this. Let's see. Headline. Zack Snyder expresses interest in potentially directing a Dragon Ball Z film, as well as other projects based on anime titles. So, let's see. He did an interview with Tyrone Magnus. Not familiar with the guy. Snyder revealed that given the right circumstances, he would consider making a film on Dragon Ball Z, as well as creating projects around other things. So let's hope we'll start one of those prayer circle things that the right circumstances never come to fruition for Zack Snyder to touch the Dragon Ball Z franchise.
Goku be like Batman.
Yeah, like he know.
Like, we need to find the Dragon Balls, Bulma.
Although he'd probably nail Vegeta.
Yeah, he would nail Vegeta, but
everybody else would be exactly like Vegeta.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, I do. Nothing like Krillin being edgy.
Yes. Everybody, like you said, everyone would be like Vegeta, and no, Zach, only Vegeta acts like this. That's it. No one else.
Yeah, you're like, are you sure? Like, because we could just do that. Like, they're all pretty unhappy. Like, no, they're happy first until everything goes to crap because of the Saiyans showing up.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Yeah, I hope that never happens. Holy goodness.
Oh, I mean, I have no problem with him making a Dragon Ball Z movie that's good. Zack Snyder, no, we don't want him.
Here's the other problem. You know what really needs to stay animated? Dragon Ball.
Dragon Ball Z?
Yes. Like, unless you find some real Saiyans that can fly and move at crazy speeds.
It would
be hilarious to do, because you know how they always talk about, like, if your power level's not high enough, like, you can't see what's going on.
Yeah.
Is if all the fights, like, you hear the sounds of the fights and the craziness going on, but the camera's just on people's faces who can see the fight, and them reacting, so you never actually get to see one of the fights.
It'd be really hard to do the hairstyles for Dragon Ball Z.
Well, did you ever see the live-action Dragon Ball they did make?
No, because it looked terrible.
That's because it's terrible. Not since... did you ever watch the Avatar The Last Airbender cartoon?
No, I watched the movie, and I thought the movie was good because I never watched the cartoon. So
the cartoon is excellent, or anime, whatever you want to call it. Like that, I haven't watched Legend of Korra yet. I'm like a decade behind on that, I think. But yeah, a lot of character development, good story, relatable characters. Like, it's fantastic. It's one of the few things I would consider watching multiple times. Live action. Just dreadful. Like, I don't think I made it more than like 12 minutes into it. And I was just like, this isn't what I thought I was watching. I imagine that is what would happen with another Dragon Ball live action. It just won't look right. All right. So we had a brief pause there. Internet is completely out in my area. So we're going to call the show there. Saul's on speakerphone.
That's what Ross is saying. He actually doesn't want me talking anymore. He wants to hog the limelight.
Yes, I'm going to now go on a 30-minute monologue. Yeah, we're getting red light as opposed to green light because a month back I had a lot of internet issues, and then they reran some stuff, and then a car exploded one of the hubs, and they had to fix that, and then everything's been fine. But now I'm looking at the Microsoft Edge. Can't reach this page thing. So I would say Dynamite wasn't super memorable.
No, not really. I didn't really enjoy it.
I mean, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't good either. So I don't feel like there's a ton to go over there. We've talked about enough other stuff this week. So
I will say, as far as wrestling goes, Roman Reigns is killing it.
Yes.
He's the best thing going on for WWE right now.
I would agree and say possibly like in wrestling
That's true.
together. He's nailing it. Like that whole thing is really good. I'm horrified that they're going to mess it up. But
they will.
given long enough, I mean, obviously, like the story has to run its course. Hopefully, it plays out and then they leave it as it is. But we'll see.
Yep.
So, all right. Well, we will return next week.
Hopefully with internet.
Yes. Well, I mean, there's workarounds if need be, but
Yes.
I don't know. We had like weird issues last night in my area with Spectrum. So thanks, Spectrum. All right. Later, everybody.
Talk to you later.